Ladies and gentlemen, this article came out in the New York Times, the end of Australia as we know it, and they are absolutely right. You know, this fire, and the thing is, when I go through the articles, there are some that said the fire started in September of 2019, and some say October. So we know it's around fall, our time, when this whole thing broke out and just got out of control. Now, there are parts of Australia where the fire was extinguished, but they are under floodwaters right now. So it just seems like they can't get a break in Australia. And they're right. Things are never going to be the same in this location again. They lost a lot of tourism and money. People have lost homes. It wiped out a big, huge part of the animal life. And it just seems like the plagues just won't stop coming for Australia. It is just coming right. They're just stockpiling on each other at this point. So, February 15th, 2020, I want to take you down to this part of the article. It's also a hint of what may be coming to a town, city, or country near you, and in a land usually associated with relaxed optimism, anxiety, and trauma have taken hold. A recent Australian Institute survey found that, listen to this, 57% of Australians have been directly affected by the bushfires or their smoke. That's more than half of that entire area. Wow. Y'all, that's just mind-boggling. Now, in New South Wales, ladies and gentlemen, they had got hit with heavy rain and flooding. So the fire is out in that area, but it's still raging on in other parts of Australia. And, even after the fire is out at this point, they're still in a very dangerous situation because after the fire is over, that's where you get the landslides. And places that may have survived will be part of mudslides. And so that becomes a dangerous situation because the grounds are now heavily saturated. So it's almost like they're jumping from one frying pan to the next in Australia. And man, the loss has been great. I thought the fires here in the US were bad. And I remember when Alberta, Canada was on fire and it wiped out several towns. And then we had the fire in Paradise here in the US, and that whole town got wiped out. But this definitely well exceed those fires. You know, I don't think I've ever seen a fire this bad in my lifetime. This is definitely the worst. So a lot of people are very angry in Australia. And, I don't know why they keep bringing up climate change. Climate change did not cause this fire. Humans caused this fire. People caused the fire. But they keep talking about global warming and climate change in many of these articles that come out about Australia. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to shield this and make it seem like, well, it's really no one's fault. It's climate change. No, people went out there and did this. They did. This had nothing to do with climate change, you know? And it also is a clear sign of not taking responsibility. That's all this is. When you keep talking about climate change and it's human error that caused this whole thing, not climate change. But what do you expect, from these folks, And also, Australia is going through a low birth rate, just like they are in European countries and here in North America. They're going through it too. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're talking about they're now have, they have to reconsider how they live now. Because you see, this fire has thrown them completely off, and they have not been able to contain it at all. It's really the rain that contained it in New South Wales, not people, not the firefighters. And that's probably what it's going to take in the other areas where the fire is still raging on. Now, yesterday I came across an article that said the winery, where they have the vineyards, is now on fire in Australia. So, they are stumbling towards new ways of living. Housing, holiday travel, work, leisure, food, and water are all being reconsidered. Yes, because you did not see this coming. You lost a million of your animal life. It's going to take those animals decades to get back to where they were before. Really, it would take them decades, y'all. Maybe even a whole century to get to the amount of animals they once had. And I bet you it's well past the billion now. I heard the billion about 2 months ago. So now we're here inching towards the end of February, and it's probably way more than what we've heard. Mm-mm-mm. If there's not a major shift that comes out of this, we're doomed, said Robin Akersley, a political scientist at the University of Melbourne, who has written extensively about environmental policy around the world. It does change everything, or it should. Yeah, you're right about that. So they're saying that Australians must accept that parts of the country will probably be inhabited. You will not be able to live there anymore. Even if that's the area that you love, you just simply can't live there anymore. You can't build this back up right away, y'all. You just can't. You can't. Just like you can't even guarantee after this is all over that another fire won't come a year from now, or even before the year is out, they get hit with another major fire. So there's no guarantee in this whole thing when you really look at it. Wow. So this is a volunteer firefighter from Tasmania. And we know about the plane crash that killed 3 US firefighters that went over there. More specifically, she said, the economy needs to change, not just moving away from fossil fuels, a major export, but also from thirsty crops like rice and cotton. Building regulations will probably stiffen too, she said. Already there are signs of growing interest in designs that offer protections from bushfires, and regulators are looking at whether commercial properties need to be made more fireproof as well. So they were nowhere near prepared for something like this. And you know what? To be honest with you, neither is the US. If we had a fire where 57% of the country was impacted, America wouldn't be able to handle this either. You wouldn't. I mean, you can talk all the big shit that you want, but reality says you would not be prepared for this. And you're not going to be prepared for no major pandemic if that coronavirus continues to spread everywhere. You see how China is fumbling around. The US knows damn well they have not dealt with a big pandemic. Probably the last one was the Spanish flu. So how seasoned are you? And you got a virus where there's no cure for it and it spreads real easy. One person can spread it to several people without even showing signs that they have it. I mean, the things going on this earth is just mind-boggling. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Climate change threatened heavy pillars of Australian identity, a life lived outdoors, an international role where the country punches above its weight, and an emphasis of egalitarianism that, according to some historians, is rooted in Australia's settlement by convicts. Remember, it was a prison colony that started this, what they call Australia. But the Aborigines, actually, ladies and gentlemen, you know how long the Aborigines were on that land? I was looking at the history of Australia, and the Aborigines have been there for 47,000 years. 47,000 years before the first Europeans showed up and killed and robbed these people out of their land. You know, you are never, ever going to have it completely good on stolen land. I'm just saying, you're just not. Since the fire started, tens of millions of acres have been incinerated in areas that are deeply connected to the national psyche. If you're American, imagine Cape Cod, Michigan, Upper Peninsula, the Siberian Nevadas, and California's Pacific coast, all rolled into one and burned. Yeah, they wouldn't be able to handle it here. They wouldn't. Mm-mm. Okay, they wouldn't. So I can see how America could easily fall apart from something like this. These are funerals from, victims that fell to the virus, y'all. And they said these folks tried to protect their property. It's not even worth it. You can't beat no infernal like that in Australia. The best thing for you to do is evacuate and get your behind out of there. You're not going to beat no fire of this magnitude. I don't care what you do, you know? And that's how a lot of fatalities happen when you have people that refuse to leave and they're trying to cling on to homes. And sometimes you just got to let this stuff go and save your life. Plain and simple. So, y'all, they're going to be talking about this fire for years to come. They really are. That's how bad this was. But, y'all, please tell me what you think. This is one of many tragedies to come this year. And I have never seen so many tragedies happen so early in the year in my life. You can definitely tell things are changing rapidly on this earth, for real. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the key, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.